Hey, Biff, you there? Are we on 1370? I can't connect to the transmitter. Do you have any idea? Have we got a power outage or anything? Okay, if you have a chance, I'm trying to, I always connect to make sure we're working, and I can't connect this morning, which tells me there's something wrong down there. Either we're out of power or we were and we haven't rebooted the computer yet. When you have a chance, just let me know. Okay, thanks. Okay, all right. Okay. Estimated time. Sure they are. Okay. Alrighty then. At least I know what the problem is. Nothing else we can do about it. We should hire some squirrels to go down there and give us a backup generator. All right. I'm going to ask you for playoff results, obviously not including us. We had two teams that played, right? Two local teams. Oh no, I thought. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so we'll talk playoffs. We can argue over whose fault it was in a bit, but I'm going to start first with the gravy burger. Then we'll go into awful lot of COVID stuff to get into, so we'll get into that after that.
All of us at the Highlands appreciate everything you are doing and are here for the items you need. Visit hitthehighlands.com for the current guidelines and updated contact information of our retailers and restaurants.
Hello, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm the Storm Tracker, Darnell Foster. With a look at your local weather forecast for your start to the work week, mix of clouds and sunshine, a dry day, daytime high near 49. Overnight low of 37 degrees under partly cloudy skies. You'll see clouds, limited sunshine for your Tuesday with highs in the lower 40s. Have yourself a great day, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors.
News, information, conversation, controversy, and fun. This is the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe.
Well, I'm gonna test my little French language here. Oui, bonjour. I gotta learn this foreign stuff. My 5-year-old grandson's can speak French. I gotta figure out how I can compete. Oui, bonjour. That's all I got here. 7:10 in the morning on the Watchdog Morning Show. What's coming up on a Monday? Well, not a lot of good stuff, actually. Christmas parade in Wheeling canceled. 3 local teams shut out of the playoffs because of those color-coded maps. Local COVID cases and deaths are still going up. Marshall County goes red on the map. Governor Justice says call the cops if people aren't wearing masks. Multiple courts rebuffed Donald Trump's efforts to overturn Biden's victory. Trump admits that Biden won, but only because the election was rigged. The holidays are here. Are you gearing up for Black Friday? Some of the matters that we will be talking about. Guests include Democratic campaign strategist and former Obama campaign advisor Spencer Critchley, Ohio County Health Department Administrator Howard Gamble coming by, and holiday shopping blogger Trey Bodges will be with us. Plus, iconic Christmas figures are being sold at an unbelievable rate. How much are porch pirates costing us this year? And are you ready for the virtual Santa Claus this COVID Christmas time? I've got all of that coming up from me to thee. What do you have for me? Use the text line if the mood strikes you, 304-214-1600, 304-214-1600, Watchdog Radio Network text line, or you can use the CityNet hotline as well, 304-232-8255, 304-232-TALK, and we're happy to chat with you when we have time, so feel free to buzz in. Going to be mostly sunny and windy today. Not too much rain to worry about, but the temperature up to around 47 degrees. Right now, it is 41 degrees at the Wheeling, Ohio County Airport. Winds blowing around with a feels-like temperature of freezing. So the feels-like is 32. You want to wear something to bundle up if you're going out here, at least in the morning this morning. And again, only a high of 47 today. Skies are pretty clear. I say we got a lot to talk about. Good morning, Brother Biff.
Good morning, Howard.
Anything exciting in your weekend this weekend?
No, not really. Just kind of took it easy this weekend and really didn't do a whole lot. Watched a lot of college and NFL football and watched the Masters, the final round before the football came on yesterday.
How's the Masters going this year? I've seen a couple of reports on it. I haven't paid much attention to it. I know you pay a lot of attention to it.
Dustin Johnson ended up winning, shot 20 under for the tournament and won. And I think they had a lot of rain on the first day on Thursday morning, which kind of softened up the course and the greens, and that's why you saw some of the high scores that you did. And it was Dustin Johnson's first Masters, and he was you could tell it meant a lot to him. He was a little emotional afterwards, and to have Tiger Woods, who won it last year, and some people claim the
Didn't I see Tiger had at least one terrible hole?
Yeah, he did. He made the comeback last year, and then got to put the green jacket on Dustin Johnson afterwards in Butler Cabin for the ceremony. But yeah, it was on hole number 12, which if you remember a couple years ago, about 4 years ago, I think in 2016, when Jordan Spieth had his meltdown on number 12, and it cost him the Masters. And Tiger on yesterday on hole number 12 ended up shooting a 10.
Holy mackerel!
Which is
my kind of score.
Which is, yeah, Tiger actually looked like some of us golfers do on when we go out and golf. But yeah, that was his worst ever score at the Masters was a 10, and he explained it afterwards. What had happened and everything, and really, if he doesn't get he wouldn't have won anyway. But had he say part of that hole, he ended up finishing 1 under. He would have been about 8 under probably if he didn't mess up that hole. But yeah, he took it in pretty good spirits afterwards, and yeah, you don't see that out of Tiger. And for those that actually got to see it, probably couldn't believe what they were actually watching, because you don't see that too often. A 10 on a hole in a major.
Let me ask do you, if you're watching something like that, or any hole in the Masters for that matter, but do you sometimes go, I could have done that? I would have made that shot. Do you ever do that? You ever say to yourself, I could have made that?
Every once in a while, but it doesn't happen too often.
All right. I tell you one thing I know you didn't do was either work at or listen to any local playoff games.
Nope. Did not do that.
There were an awful lot of disappointed and angry, well, let's begin with coaches and athletes, and then extended out into the community this weekend when the map came out and the Ohio and Marshall County teams could not play. 3 teams in contention for the playoffs would have been in the first round: Wheeling Park, Wheeling Central, John Marshall. All of them had to just say, well, thanks, but no thanks. We'll stay home and see what happens. Really awfully irritating to an awful lot of people. If you and I had some disagreement online this weekend about whose fault it is, but I'll tell you one thing I think we can both agree on. Something isn't right with this, Something isn't right in not being able to have the football playoffs, but other things that are still going on. I mean, there's no parity here. There's no logic behind some of this kind of stuff. I think it's a legitimate question to ask, and I will ask Howard Gamble this a little bit later on this morning. As a matter of fact, if he has any thoughts on this, it's not his doing, but why could kids not play high school football, but WVU could play? Why is one no good and the other okay? Why are we not allowed to play football, but we can pack them into the bars and the restaurants? I don't understand that. Why are gyms open, but kids can't condition themselves on the field last week, or coming up this week if you're in the same category and if you're going to be playing? I mean, there's something. You would agree with me, right? Without laying blame whose fault it is, there's something wrong with this.
There's something wrong with this on a whole lot of levels, and I think we can start at the top and eventually work our way down. But there's really been no consistency, and again I go back to Ohio and the way they did their system and everything, and I think again West Virginia could have adopted some of those methods, and this weekend in Ohio they're done. I mean, that again, the Division I championship in Ohio was played Friday night. Division I is finished, and they'll play Divisions 2 through 7 between I think Friday, and I think Ohio's actually letting them play on Sunday. So, Divisions 2 through 7 will finish this week, and Ohio will be done. So, they're going to crown 7 champions in the fashion that they did it in. It worked for Ohio, and I just wish wishes that West Virginia would have adopted some of the Ohio models.
I think that, and you're right, Ohio was more forward thinking. I don't know whether it's a Jim Justice issue or a Bernie Dolan issue, but we didn't really, I don't think through what was going to happen with football in West Virginia this year. We didn't really plan for, and I don't know, maybe it was just hope that all would go well and the COVID would go away, but there could have been better planning. But I'm not talking about like last weekend or the week before. I'm talking about at the beginning of the season, we could have had better planning for how this whole thing was going to play out. And I just don't I just don't think we had it. Again, where does the blame go? Lots of places, I guess. The guy at the top always has to hold most of the blame, I think. And it's interesting, and we'll talk more about this in a minute or two. You know, Governor Justice announced this huge crackdown last weekend, on Friday, I guess it was. Mandatory mask wearing, tell people, he tells people if there's not if somebody that goes into a restaurant or a bar or any retail establishment, without a mask, and if the owners of that business let them in, call the police. He says call the police. I mean, a lot of crackdown there. Obviously, he dealt with the football playoff situation. He dealt with the schools are going to go on a 1 week sabbatical, but not until Thanksgiving, which again, we'll talk more about this in detail later. I'm not sure why, if the school's taking a 1 week break would help slow this spread down. I said, why are we waiting till Thanksgiving? I mean, why not impose that requirement now? But what I found interesting over the weekend was, at least from some things I saw online, Bernie Dolan said he didn't know anything about the new requirements, new rules, until after the governor announced them to the public. Doesn't the governor talk to the people affected by that? And I know that Teddy's school is now on a remote, and they had this big Zoom meeting with all the parents last Friday. And as a grandparent, I eavesdropped. I was listening in, and the headmaster at the school says, just in case y'all wonder, I was just doing my work in the middle of the day on a Friday afternoon. Somebody says, oh, by the way, the governor says everybody's going to go home. Don't you consult? Don't you alert the key players first before you go out in public? Anyway, we'll get into all of this a little bit later on. We did, Biffy, have a couple of local teams, though, panhandle teams, that did get to play this weekend, correct?
Yeah, we had 2 games on Saturday in Double-A. Oak Glen was at home taking on Point Pleasant, and Oak Glen shut out Point Pleasant 42-0. And Oak Glen is scheduled to meet Herbert Hoover. Again, it'll be at home. Herbert Hoover, the 13 seed, upset number 4, Liberty Raleigh 34-33. So Oak Glen, again, scheduled this weekend to take on Herbert Hoover. Herbert Hoover beat Liberty Raleigh. So Herbert Hoover will be traveling to Oak Glen as of right now. And unfortunately, over in Single A, Weird Madonna made the trek to Greenbrier West, and Greenbrier West shut out Weird Madonna 58-0. So over in that's it in Single A. So really, the only local West Virginia team we have left is Oak Glen, and again, Oak Glen will be at home this weekend, and wish Coach Ted Arno Jr. and his staff the best of luck this weekend, and hopefully they can avoid the map, and we'll have at least one team playing on Wheeling Island in December if we get there.
If we get there. So we started out on Thursday, Friday, whatever day. There was a possibility of 5 local teams. Well, 5 local teams were in the original playoff seedings, right? Now we get up to 3. John Marshall, Wheeling Park, Wheeling Central can't play because of the COVID situation and the color-coded map and all that sort of stuff. And then we had 2 left. They did play. 1 wins, 1 loses. So we, out of a potential of 5 before the weekend began, we have 1 left in the Panhandle playing in the playoffs. We were not alone. I mean, I don't know. I don't think that makes anybody feel any better. 10 football teams were taken out of the playoffs as a result of the color-coded map around the state of West Virginia. In Jackson County, Marshall County, Mingo County, Ohio County, Putnam County, and Wood County. Teams in all of those counties were supposed to be in the playoffs, and they were not. As a result, 10 of the 11 games originally scheduled for Sunday were canceled. 10 of the 11 were canceled for Sunday, including the 3, of course, local games that we were talking about here. So, just a depressing, first of all, but also just a mess. And I just can't help but say there has to have been a better way to do all of this. There has to have been a better way to do all of this. And we'll talk more about that coming up a little bit later on. All right, it's 7:24 here on the Watchdog Morning Show. You're welcome to weigh in on this or anything else at 304-214-1600. That's the Watchdog Radio Network text line, 304-214-1600. Text line is open and ready for you to use as the mood strikes you. Or you can give me a quick buzz. I've got a handful of moments here at 304-232-8255. So we're going to get much more into COVID. The parade has been canceled, and Marshall County is red, and which way is Ohio County going, and all of these things we'll get into as the morning moves on. But when we come back, I want to talk about something else, something near and dear to my heart, Biff, which means, of course, we're getting into food once again. And I know that you're not a big fan, but you know me, I love my KFC. I love my KFC. And KFC has something brand new coming out for the holidays that sounds like it couldn't have been made more specifically for me. We'll talk about it. Straight ahead on the Watchdog Morning Show. It's 7:25, 25 after the hour, and 41 degrees. It feels like temperature of even freezing.
For all of your IT needs, visit OmniPerformance.
Excuse me.
With a successful track record in civil litigation, criminal defense, including tax issues and healthcare fraud, Harris Law Office will fight for their clients by offering the most aggressive representation in and out of court. Call Paul Harris at Harris Law Office for a free consultation. 304-232-5300.
Island Pawnbrokers is now your local firearm dealer. In a pinch? Need cash quick? See us before going to the big box stores. Paying top dollar for firearms, gold, silver, tools, coins, and electronics. Don't lose your good credit. Let us give you instant cash. Stop by 2 North Broadway Street on Wheeling Island, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Island Pawnbrokers. Stop in for instant cash.
From the Watchdog Network, right now, traffic. Here's the latest from the Robinson Auto Group Traffic Center.
Traffic near the Highlands, on Washington Avenue, and on the Fort Henry Bridge is moving freely. Traffic near the Ohio Valley Mall, on 70 and 470, and on State Route 7 is flowing. McCulloch Street under I-70 will continue to have single-lane closures. The Market Street overpass width reduction will continue. The single-lane closures on Route 2 under I-70 will continue. I-70 construction will continue westbound where crossovers are in effect. And all existing detours and closures will continue for the I-70 Bridges project. Follow Ohio Valley Traffic Report on Facebook, WTRF 7 News, and the Watchdog for updates.
Throughout the Ohio Valley, back to school is looking different. Each day, parents, teachers, students, coaches, and administrators are finding solutions to situations that are unprecedented. All of us at the Highlands appreciate everything you are doing and are here for the items you need. Visit hitthehighlands.com for the current guidelines and updated contact information of our retailers and restaurants.
Hello, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm the Storm Tracker, Darnell Foster, with a look at your local weather forecast for your start to the work week. Mix of clouds and sunshine, a dry day, daytime high near 49. Overnight low of 37 degrees under partly cloudy skies. You'll see clouds, limited sunshine for your Tuesday with highs in the lower 40s. Have yourself a great day, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster.
Listen to the latest breaking news, traffic, and weather updates and more with WTRF Live. Weekday mornings beginning at 6 a.m. Only on the Watchdog.
Watch out! He could climb on his soapbox at any time. The Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe continues.
Always have to have a moment or two to talk about food here on the Watchdog Morning Show. This story crossed my desk over the weekend, and I thought to myself, oh yeah, baby, this is right up my alley. Now, God help us, this will kill me, probably to eat it, but it's right up my alley, Biff. Y'all know I like KFC, right? I mean, I'm a big fan of KFC chicken. I love me a good old bucket of legs and thighs. Yeah, baby, original recipe, give it to me the big bucket. I like that. What's the other thing that in general, Biffy, I like fried chicken. What's the other thing I kind of like in general on many different things?
Gravy.
You got it right. Well, guess what KFC is doing for their Christmas menu is going to include the Gravy Burger Box Meal.
Oh, boy.
A brand new burger, a layer of gravy nays. This I'm not totally sure about. It's going to be a mixture of gravy and mayonnaise. Oh. Okay. A layer of gravy nays, an original recipe chicken fillet, a slice of melted cheese, and a hash brown gravy boat, all stacked inside the sesame seed bun. Now you say to yourself, what's the gravy boat? Well, apparently it's a hash brown with a sort of dip in the middle of it, so you can put gravy in the hash brown, use it right out of there. In their advertising, KFC says, an unsurpassed triumph of hash brown virtuosity, featuring a special well expertly designed to hold gravy and plenty of it. So, but if that's not enough, they've developed an all-new mini gravy pouring pot. So you can get a pot of gravy to go along with your gravy burger. Honestly, I think if my heart doctors heard me talk about that, they would go to court and get some kind of an injunction.
Yeah.
No. We cannot have this. No. He's a heart patient of ours. If he goes under, we'll get blowback on that. No. This is about as bad as it can get. I gotta say though, I'm looking at the picture of it here. It's looking pretty good. Nice burger. The chicken fillet, cheese, the hash brown gravy pot, and the gravy pot beside it. Yeah, baby. The Gravy Burger Box Meal. Does not tell me what the price of it is, though. I don't think so. Oh, by the way, if the burger itself is not good enough, you can also add to it, as part of the package, a second original recipe mini filet, as well as a side. All right. There you go. Could be coming to a KFC near you. The new Gravy Burger Box. That's something that Old Monroe's going to have to look into. Speaking of gravy and Thanksgiving and turkey and stuffing and so on, a little bit later on, I'll tell you about, are you ready for this? A line of clothing that features your favorite Thanksgiving items, food items. Wearing your food? I got the story. That's coming up a bit later on. We're going to get into the governor's crackdown on COVID and the mask wearing and discrepancies between playoffs not being allowed to happen and other things are allowed to happen. We'll do that coming up in a couple of minutes. Howard Gamble from the Health Department joining us in the 8 o'clock hour to talk about all the latest stuff that's going on. It's been a very busy COVID weekend. The numbers are rising. So all of that's coming up here on the Watchdog Morning Show. But first, we better check some headlines, and for that, we roll over to our friends of the Big Seven.
The WTRF Channel 7 News Update is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
Now it's time.
EMS crews say they were unable to be flown by helicopter to the hospital due to the strong winds. The structure is being ruled as a total loss, and a cause has not been determined at this time. The Brooke County Sheriff's Office will assist the state fire marshal in the investigation. For the second consecutive week, Ohio County schools will be operating on remote learning Monday through Friday. The county remains under orange on the weekly education map, meaning the suspension of all face-to-face learning. Meals for students over the next 3 days can be picked up at their respective school. Stay with 7 News for updates. And dozens across Ohio and Marshall counties are still without power this morning following those heavy winds yesterday. AEP officials say there's still not any estimated repair time for everyone's power to return, but crews are out working right now. They recommend downloading their mobile app for resources on how to deal with losing power. That was a look at your headlines. Have a marvelous Monday, everyone.
At Heinz Field, the Steelers crushed the Cincinnati Bengals. 36-10 was the final. How about Ben Roethlisberger? He loved throwing the football against a awful Cincinnati defense. He completed 27 of 46, 333 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Not a good day for Bengals rookie Joe Burrow. He completed 21 of 40 for 213 yards. He was sacked 4 times, twice by T.J. Watt. Steelers are unbeaten at 9-0. The last team to start 9-0 and win a Super Bowl, the 2009 New Orleans Saints. Pittsburgh will travel to Jacksonville Sunday. Cleveland, believe it or not, 6-3 after beating Houston 10-7. Baltimore Sunday night, upset by the Patriots 23-17. A pretty good Sunday for Tom Brady, 3 touchdowns as the Buccaneers beat Carolina 46-23. Monday Night Football, the Chicago Bears host the Minnesota Vikings. In golf, the big story, Dustin Johnson won the Masters and a green jacket. DJ finished 20 under par. Are you kidding me? Hey, be safe out there. Please be considerate of others. I'm Bill DeFabio on sports on AM 1600, and we will always be your watchdog.
A serious injury from an accident can be just the start of your worries. What if you cannot return to work? How do you take care of your family if you're disabled? At Gelner Law Offices, we represent seriously injured people and understand their problem. We know how to get you fair compensation. We will work hard to make sure you get the money you deserve for your losses. Don't go it alone. If you're hurt in an accident, call us at 304-242-2900 or visit us at gelnerlaw.com.
We'd like to help.
I'm Josh from Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration. I hope you are staying healthy. We continue to respond to structural, fire, and water emergencies. We are combating COVID-19 with our highly trained staff and latest disinfection systems, providing preventative and reactive disinfection to facilities around the region, while working with area hospitals on isolation areas and air filtering. At Panhandle, we continue to follow social distancing and hygiene protocols. We are dedicated to our community, and together we will get through this.
In a divided year, we can still be united through giving. There's a $300 above-the-line tax deduction this year thanks to the CARES Act. You can take a $300 deduction for charitable donations. As an organization that promotes giving, the United Way of the Upper Ohio Valley encourages you to utilize this tax deduction. Consider making a donation to a nonprofit agency with a cause that's important to you. Any donation made to the United Way will go towards our annual campaign supporting local programs focusing on the community's toughest needs.
Just like they always do, Quaker Steak and Lube at the Highlands continues to serve the Ohio Valley. The Lube is still open for carry-out and now offering their $10 meal deal every day of the week. Get one entree and one sidecar for just $10. Pick from steak, wings, ribs, and more. Call in or order online at thelube.com and follow them on Facebook to stay up to date on their latest specials and promotions.
Follow us on Facebook for the latest news, show updates, podcasts, alerts, and live video streams from the Valley's only network dedicated to local, community-driven talk radio, The Watchdog. Give us a call and tell us what you're thinking. Locally, 304-214-1600. Out of the area, toll free, 866-514-1600 or 304-232-8255.
Conversation you care about from people you know. The Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe continues.
Text line open, 304-214-1600, 304-214-1600. Feel free to use it as you choose. A couple of folks, Biff, no matter what I do, I get in trouble for it, all right? No matter what I do, I get in trouble for it. If I spend a lot of time on COVID, I'm told that I am fear-mongering. If I spend too much time with politics and Trump and Biden and so on, I'm told that I'm creating division and that I need to support our president or what have you. So if I get too serious, I get in too much trouble. I did a little ditty about the KFC gravy boat burger that's coming out, and I get this off the text line. All I have to say is, what a country. Everything that's going on, and you're talking about gravy. A, I can't win. I can't win. I've come to that conclusion. And B, life is a lot of things. Gravy is part of my life. Food is part of our lives. I think all of us are a little more foodie-ish anymore because of COVID. So, no matter what happens, I keep getting in trouble.
I'll explain it this way. You're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
That's exactly right. So I must follow my own North Star and do what I think is right, no matter what y'all are texting me. But I do appreciate your text, 304-214-1600. The KFC gravy boat burger, a original KFC recipe chicken fillet with a slice of cheese and the gravy nays all over it, and a hash brown gravy boat on top of all that on a sesame seed bun. That's what we're talking about. And I don't know, this could be from my doctor, I'm not sure, or maybe it's just a concerned citizen. Howard, should I go ahead and make an appointment just to have a stent put in you right now?
Someone looking out for you.
Somebody is looking out for me. On the serious side of things, I mentioned that the governor, we'll talk more about it in a bit, the governor has, Governor Justice, I need to differentiate because Ohio Governor DeWine's doing some things too, but Governor Justice last week said that we're going to have a week sort of sabbatical, if you will, from school. All schools will take an entire week off at Thanksgiving time to kind of let the COVID situation, I don't know, maybe to stop the flow, the rise of COVID and so on. My question was, if it's good to have a week off, maybe why we wait till Thanksgiving? Text line, the planned week of remote learning in West Virginia following Thanksgiving is a proactive response to anticipated COVID spread from extended family gatherings. Well, okay, that's fair enough. That's actually fair enough. I won't.
Well, and
I won't disagree with that.
And I'm sure too. They probably, obviously, you're going to get Thanksgiving, Black Friday, the weekend. They were probably going to give them Monday off as well. So why not just add what would that be, Tuesday and Wednesday, and make them go back on Thursday? So that's probably why they did it. My best guess.
And that's what they're doing at Teddy's school. He would normally have been off Thursday through Monday, and now it's just going to be Thursday through Wednesday, Thursday, whatever that is. A few extra days on that. So fair enough on that. Although I have to be honest with you, I think my son and daughter are thinking about keeping him out of school. Not out. I mean, he'll do remote learning. He's on remote again this week. So once again, you'll hear my grandson in the background beginning around 8:30 or so. But they're thinking about just putting him in full remote learning till the beginning of the year. Just, too much indecision going on with this COVID stuff. But again, all of that coming up in a bit. There's no indecision when Zach Petty gives us the forecast. He gives it to us straight, and we can believe every word he says because he's a weatherman. Well, most of his words anyways.
Yeah. How are you today,
Good morning,
Howard?
Zach. Good, how are you?
Oh, plugging away. It's a Monday. Have a little case of the Monday blues. I was kind of liking how the weekend was, just kind of relaxing at home and not really worrying about anything. And now I come back and, we have gusty winds, and I have to be concerned over the power lines and the power outages and how does that impact some of our weather models. So now I'm all up in a tizzy this morning.
By the way, that gives me an opportunity to mention to those who are trying to listen, we have a power outage at our Moundsville transmitter location. Power is out in Moundsville, not all of Moundsville necessarily, but where our transmitter is. So we are off the air on 1370 WVOY AM and FM 97.7. So listeners who are trying to find it going, you sound like static to me today, Howard. It must be you. No, it's not me. It's power's out. So glad you mentioned that, Zach, because we have a chance to mention that to the listeners. Of course, you can still catch us on AM 1600 and FM 98.1, and you can also use TuneIn Radio or WatchdogNetwork.com. What'd you do so you just kind of chilled out for the weekend, huh, Zach?
Yeah, went home and helped the parents try to organize the clutter of a new house, and there's literally boxes everywhere. I was able to at least find my way to get to my old bed. The new bedroom's a lot smaller than the one that I had in our old house, so that's going to take some time getting used to the smaller closet and not so much wall space to hang up any of my memorabilia. So I was kind of looking around and saying, I have a lot of stuff, but all my stuff's cool, so I'm not going to get rid of it.
I have to say, you said you're kind of fighting off a little bit of the Monday blues. I thought listening to you on TV, I listened to your TV cast on the radio this morning. I thought you sounded a little down. Not down, but not your usual ebullient self. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just the Monday blues, I guess. We'll chuck it up to that one.
But it's going to be a real windy and a cool day today. Man, we have it feels like right now of roaming almost at freezing.
Yeah, it feels like a 32. Temperatures out the door in the upper 30s. Definitely want to grab the heavier jacket, if not the, the windbreaker. I thought of that for a second. The windbreaker this morning because, the winds are going to be noticeable. They'll be blowing from the west, southwest, right around 10 to 15 miles per hour sustained, and there's, again, the chance of seeing gusts upwards of 30 miles per hour. Now, I don't expect to see the gusts like we saw yesterday, upwards of 50. Now, we did have a reported wind gust of 56 at the Wheeling, Ohio County Airport yesterday afternoon. So none of that is expected, but still noticeable winds today. And it looks like the winds will continue into Tuesday, where we're going to be under mostly cloudy skies, if not partly cloudy. And, again, there is a chance for some snow flurries. Temperatures are going to be cooler as we head into the overnights and into Wednesday, so the possibility is there. I just put it in as a error on the side of caution because the ingredients are there, but do I think that we see snow flurries? I'm on the hesitant side of no, but the possibility is there, so we just want to issue that to talk about it.
Yeah, you and I have said this before. I mean, the truth of the matter is, it's November, the 16th or 16th? Yeah, November 16th. I mean, it's not unusual, so I guess we can, we'll have to get ready for that. If we have, I wouldn't mind seeing a flake or a flurry. I don't know about tomorrow, but the next couple of days or weeks, a few flakes, a few flurries would be okay. Kind of remind me that winter's coming, but that's all I want of those flakes and those flurries, if we see them at all. Yeah, that wind was something yesterday. In fact, there was a house in North Wheeling the house that got blown down or partially blown down.
Yeah, we did a story or something on it, I think, in the news, and I was like, wow, that's just gives you a test of what Mother Nature can really do. If she's mad, she's a screaming mad, and she'll huff and puff and blow your house down like the big bad wolf.
Exactly. It's also a reminder that why we need to start tearing down some of these dilapidated structures. I don't know that particular building. I should be careful, but I'm assuming it was an old dilapidated building that probably just couldn't withstand the wind. But anyway, yeah. So it was a good windy day. What's the rest of the week look like for us?
Well, it looks like Wednesday is going to be our last little spell of cold. I'm expecting to see temperatures in the lower 40s tomorrow and Wednesday, but we're going to warm up. Almost by 15 degrees Thursday in through Friday, with temperatures back in the mid to upper 50s. Our average high for this time of year, Howard, is in the lower 50s. So we're going to be a few degrees below average today, well below average Tuesday and Wednesday, and we'll be slightly above average Thursday and Friday with mostly sunny, if not partly cloudy skies in through the weekend, with temperatures getting back to near 60 degrees both Saturday and Sunday. So looks like a beautiful stretch of weather, no real threat for precipitation or rain. So good November week. There's nothing really else to talk about, you know what I mean? Like last week, I had the record-breaking temperatures and then the rain coming in, so it gave me something to spice it up, I guess, weather makers to talk about, whereas this week, high pressure will work its way back into the forecast on Wednesday and giving us rather cloudless skies. Not much to report on in the weather department again.
All right, and right now we're looking at 40, I think it was 41 when I checked the last time, with a feels-like temperature of an even freezing, 32 degrees.
Yeah, it's cold.
Yeah, I'm not sure a windbreaker is good enough. I think you probably want to wear a jacket out there this morning. All right, Zach, perk up. It's Monday, but the world is good and life is happy, and there's food out there waiting to be eaten. That's what I always look forward to. Somewhere, somehow, I've got food coming. So perk yourself up today. Don't live in the Monday blues.
Sounds good, Howard. I'll do my best. Thank you.
All right, we'll talk to you tomorrow. Thanks, pal. Appreciate it.
All right, we'll see you.
All right, Zach Petty from the Big 7 TV here on the Watchdog Morning Show. It's 8 before the hour. Let's see, off the text line, 304-214-1600. Can feel free to use it anytime you'd like to. A lot of folks using the text line this morning. Mr. Monroe, begins Mr. Monroe. It's usually a bad thing.
Actually, though, I think this is a different one.
Oh, because this is actually not a bad text. Mr. Monroe, it is your show. Talk about what you want to. If people don't like it, they can turn it off or they can get their own show. It's just the same people who complain to you all the time. Keep up the good work. Whoa. I so seldom get those kind of comments. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's always been my philosophy about the radio show. It reflects what's on my mind, Biffy, you know? And politics is huge. I'm really concerned about COVID, so we spend a lot of time on that. I think it's important to inform you. But food is also a big part of my life. In case you all haven't figured that out, food's an important part of my life. And I love to talk about food, and I love to talk about my grandson, and I love to talk about, fun things too. So I appreciate the text. I think I know who this may be from. I appreciate the text here. Thank you for it. And it's always the way I've approached things. I have some friends in the business who have been given directives from their companies. You will talk about this and this only. I couldn't do it, Biffy. I couldn't do it. I mean, thank God the bosses here let me do the things I need to do and talk about, That doesn't mean I don't sometimes get questions about some things.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean the bad phone hasn't rung a few times. But I talk about that which I feel is important. And there are days, I think we had a couple of days last week where I don't think we spent 10 minutes on anything serious. We just went goofy all day long, and it's just when I'm in a goofy mood. And then some days we get real serious and talk about the serious stuff. Probably it's not, in my mind, though, there is nothing more serious than COVID. Maybe it's time to talk about some of the numbers right now.
COVID-19 update.
Continuing coverage of the year America shut down continues on the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe.
Well, I mentioned earlier Marshall County has gone into the red category. I worry where Ohio County may go in the near future because of the number of cases we're getting to see increase. 17 counties around West Virginia now have their school districts on remote instruction because of where they fall in the color-coded map that came out on Saturday night. 17 county school districts are now in orange or red, and they are now on required remote instruction. It includes Ohio County, which is still in the orange category. Wheeling, Ohio County Health Department yesterday announced 3 new COVID deaths, and 55 new COVID cases. All 3 of the deaths were in a long-term care facility. So 55 new COVID cases as well. Total now in Ohio County, 1,048 cases, including 13 total deaths. Ohio County will continue their additional COVID testing, free testing this week, again at the Valley Grove Fire Department from 11 to 4, Warwood Fire Station from 11 to 4, and the Wheeling Island Fire Station 11 to 4 as well. These are free, open to anybody. You don't have to worry about insurance. You don't have to worry about anything. Just show up. You must have a photo ID. You don't have to be from Ohio County to take part in them, although they do want to see a residence, something that shows where you live, because they keep track of this stuff by your home county, even though you don't have to be from Ohio County to do it. So be aware of that. The additional testing, which they've done now for the last 2 weeks, they are going to continue to do. Marshall County over the weekend, 1 new COVID-19 death and 13 new positive cases as of yesterday, making now 10 deaths in Marshall County from COVID. The additional death was an 87-year-old female, again, resident of a long-term care facility, a rehab facility at the time of her passing. And then 13 new positive cases. Marshall County gives us more info, which I appreciate. And so we have a better sense of the spread of this disease or this virus, I guess I should say, among people. 13 new positive cases, including a male in their 20s, several males in their 20s, a female in her 70s, a male in his 50s, male in his 30s, a male in his 60s, female in her 40s, male in his 70s, to get the point. And also a teenage male as well. A teenage female, female. So, and probable cases, those are confirmed positive in Marshall County. Probable cases include a preteen male, among others. I mention that because folks say, well, it's all those old folks dying in nursing homes. Nah. Well, the deaths so far, to a large extent, are from nursing homes. But the positive cases really run male, female, everything from preteen. I think we had a Marshall County case was a 5-year-old a week or so ago, all the way up to and through the 90s. So be aware of that. Let's see. I mentioned Marshall County has gone into the red category. Let's go across the river. Belmont County Health Department, 70 new COVID-19 cases over the weekend. 1,474 total positive COVID cases in Belmont County. Total 70 more added to the list since last Friday. And in addition to taking playoffs out of the hopes of Central and Park and John Marshall Monarchs and others around the state, COVID has canceled the Wheeling Christmas Parade. Biffy, no moss on the parade.
Yeah, kind of disappointing, but I think they looked at everything and just maybe decided, maybe it was good not to have it. I don't know, but I'm sure it was a decision that they didn't want to make, they didn't want to do, but unfortunately, they, I guess after looking at everything, thought, well, maybe the best decision would be not to have it this year. But again, it just adds to the growing list that we have.
Yeah, I know when I talked to Erica Storch early on, and also a couple of board members from the Chamber of Commerce, I said, well, should we promote the Christmas parade? They said, well, let's wait a little bit because we're not sure. They eventually did put it on the calendar, and we talked about it, but going into this, they knew there was a possibility of it being canceled, and the Wheeling Fantasy and Lights Main Street Bank Christmas Parade has been canceled. All right, we'll talk with Howard Gamble from the Health Department. That's coming up next on the Watchdog Morning Show, but first, ABC is here.
The Watchdog is FM 98.1, AM 1600 WKKX Wheeling, FM 97.7, AM 1370 WVLY Moundsville.
The ABC News is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
Would ask the FDA.
All right, Biffy, I've already sucked down one cup of coffee. I'm going to go get another one. I'll be back.